Talk about like hot takes, but can we name a Henry Cavill-led series that has been successful?
Series?
He wasn't a successful Superman.
Oh,
He wasn't a successful Witcher. Now he's left.
Hold up.
I mean, you can say all you
I think
want,
he
but
was. I think he was a successful Superman.
Yeah, he was
Success
falsely
equals
acclaimed.
What's up, shitheads? Today we're going to have a free-for-all. We're going to talk about everything that's come out this summer and kind of get back into it, see what we've watched, what we haven't watched, what you like, what you don't like, you know, all that bullshit. I'm Justin, but I can't do it alone. I'm here, of course, with my shitty friends.
I'm Perkins.
I'm Alex.
I'm Crystal. I'm having a bad hair day.
What's up, y'all? It's Fabian, the comic guy, and I'm having a good hair day.
It's those microfibers. It's your boy D Money, and I'm having a normal hair day.
I
Did you
wear
get a new
hats.
name? What's that? Is he trying it out? D
He's
Money?
been D-Money
Yeah,
for like
always.
10
Oh, is that-
episodes
D-Money,
at
honey.
least.
That's my brain fucking up. I remember
it's
it.
part of your bad hair day. So, mine is Crystal's bad hair day, you know, guys. There are a lot of
I know what
obvious things here. What is going on over there?
Stop messing with it.
Got a hat
I
for
literally
her?
moved my hand and then it like everywhere. And I was like, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing right now.
So, a lot of things have come out this summer already. We're about halfway through it by we're recording this. This past week, I feel like it's been crazy. You had, for people that watch The Witcher came out. Black Mirror came out recently. The Bear came out. Secret Invasion just had another episode. Personally, I'm a Jack Ryan fan, so that just had another.
Isn't it on its
dropped.
final season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just been a lot of TV in a really short amount of time. This week specifically, Crystal and I have been binging every day trying to keep up with it.
Yeah.
If you,
I'm sorry.
what are you watching down there, Crystal? Share your notes with the class.
I was just talking about John Krasinski. I was like, I've never watched Jack Reacher, but it's got John Krasinski in it.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan.
Reacher's a different guy.
Shit,
Yeah,
you
I
got
was
so
gonna
many
say.
fucking many of them. I don't know. Aren't they like
I
all
don't
the
have that
same?
many of them. I don't own them. They're not mine. I'm not over here like, which Jack are we going to put on TV now?
Are they the same
Jack
kind of like
Dawson.
storyline? Like
No,
are
they're
they
pretty
not?
different.
Are they not both like spy stuff, like CIA shit?
One's like outlaw, like he works outside of the government and he's like, he goes into a town and things are happening. He's like, I'm going to fix this shit. The other one's quite literally like, they're terrorists that are plotting nuclear war and I have have to it.
Different levels.
Yeah.
Different
The
levels
more you
of.
know.
It's like hometown
hero.
rapper
I don't
versus
know.
like,
I watched Never Have I Ever, and then
yeah, there's plenty more that I haven't
Manifest, so I
watched that's
was
new.
like, that's where my brain was. That's what I've been watching.
We just watched the Evil Dead.
Oh, how was that?
Evil Dead is the new one is so good.
good.
It's such a cool like.
It's scary.
It's very scary. It's just a great like take of this world because it's not. It's
Is
not
this
like
all same universe?
It's the
It's
same.
the same it's the same book,
But the book looks different in this one. So
but it's the same
Actually,
one though.
It's a different main
second
still the
book.
Book of the Dead.
It's
yeah.
the second
So
book.
it's still a Necronomicon?
Hold
The
on,
whole
Fabian
reason
knows.
this movie was made was just to establish that there's 3 books in this
Oh.
universe. So this is just canon with the first movie that
So it
came
is
out in
the same
2010.
universe.
Yeah.
Just it's
So-
a
This is like a continuation movie,
Yes.
not like a re.
It's
a
a,
reboot,
if
a
it's
remake,
if
or
that's the case,
whatever.
then it is a continuation, but it's a different, like completely different story. It's almost like Cloverfield. How they have all those different
Okay.
movies
It's
that
like,
like.
it's all gonna like
but it
ultimately
all goes
verse
together.
maybe.
Hopefully that'd be
like
lit.
the thing that stays the same is like the
book is evil.
books. Yeah, the
Yeah.
evil that comes from the books.
So-
but the
I thought they
people
just, like, remade
and their
it.
stories are different.
I was curious to
That's
know
why I was
how
like,
It's done
I
a
want
while
to watch
back.
this.
I was
It's
curious
just
to know
the
how
same
it fit
thing.
into like the Evil Dead series and the Evil Dead, the 2010 one, right? Or whenever the
Yeah.
that's a reboot of the original Sam
Yes.
Raimi
Yeah.
movies, right?
Yeah.
Was this new one a remake of anything, or is it an entirely original?
No, it's a
story?
completely
Completely
different
different.
story.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's great, and it's for me. I liked it because in the older ones, they show you this book and it has like terrifying like illustrations.
All right.
And we
Necronomicon.
only know one version of like the demons that come out of it, and it because usually they illustrate what's in the book with like reality, like what's
Yeah.
going on and stuff, and so it showed more of the demons and stuff, like the monsters that
was
it can
crazy,
create.
yeah.
I heard it was like super violent. They went over
yeah,
over the top with some of the kills and things like that. Tell me
yeah,
something. I
yeah,
haven't seen it.
yeah.
I'll watch someone else talk about
Perkins,
it.
this is
Stuff like
this
that
is,
makes me such a little
man,
bitch.
I'm
Did you watch
such a
it?
huge Evil Dead fan. They just put
It's
like
on
the series
Max.
on HBO.
Yeah, I want to watch it now that I don't
Yeah.
have to pay for it. I didn't want to pay to pee on myself.
Yeah.
But the way they did this is like, okay, so this is the second book, but it just happened to stumble upon people who I felt weren't like the main like
Like some NPC type
yes,
people.
yes, in that sense, like it just like if you think about like what would happen if something pivotal like a relic came across like some NPCs.
Like
Yeah.
us.
So
Just like normal ass.
freaking the fuck
Did you just
out.
call me a fucking NPC?
I did.
Like us.
So they mark everyone in there. Like there's spoiler alert, but I mean if you haven't seen it, Perkins, no offense, but
No, yeah.
that's the shit. But one person, like two people, come out and survive out of this whole thing, and it's just like it all takes place in an apartment building, and they've never
One
done
floor of an
that
apartment
landscape
building.
Yeah,
before.
with just one floor.
yeah.
Oh, like, even just the trailers freaked me out again. I'm not a big
It's
horror fan. Everybody
scary.
knows that, but they like the trailers were enough for me
Yeah.
to be like, when I have to, I'll go
Yeah.
watch it.
I will say, Justin, like fair warning, because I know you don't love
Gore,
horror.
man.
Yeah,
Ugh.
like
Oh,
I
yeah.
love scary movies, and so I'm like pretty much like adapted to like,
Yeah.
oh, that's scary, but this one's scary. It's like
Yeah.
really, it's scary. So
I figure I know when I end up watching it, because I'll have to at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know and try and like talk myself into knowing it's all right. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Yeah.
be there. Just
like-
there's just
So
it just
jumpy.
I'm such a little bitch.
And it's still Evil Dead.
Yeah.
They do a lot of callbacks where they all like rise and they're like dead by dawn.
And that's why,
Yeah,
and that's
that
why I
was
want to watch
crazy.
it, because I watched all of the Raimi movies originally,
Yeah.
and I loved all those, but I loved them for the camp. I never loved it because I was like, this
Yeah.
is a serious horror movie.
Oh no!
So this is
It's
taking a
not
franchise
campy,
I thought was
really.
already great and making
Yeah.
it great for the real reason, like it to be a horror movie.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's scary.
If you guys also haven't seen Ash versus Evil Dead, I highly recommend that
I actually
one.
haven't watched that.
So
I don't know what
good.
to watch it
It's
on.
so
It was on
good.
Stars, if I'm not mistaken. So whatever
Okay.
streaming service Stars was on.
And the whole reason it got canceled a while back was too many people were pirating it, and they didn't know where to watch it either.
damn.
It was on Stars, so
Yeah.
nobody has like a Star subscription.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh yeah.
The only reason I knew that is I
Stars.
worked at Time Warner Cable and Spectrum when it came out. So, that shit for free. Would have never paid for that. Fuck
Yeah.
subscriptions.
No, it's great. It's a really good horror movie. Great
It's, like,
addition
well
to the Evil Dead
done.
franchise.
All the actors are great.
Like how over the top is it compared to like what's the movie with Art the Clown? Like the really really violent clown movie that was popping for recently.
Terrifier?
Terrifier.
Yeah.
So like, is it like on that
I
level?
actually
of violence?
haven't seen Terrifier. Like I've seen so many good things about it as far as
Oh,
like it
God.
being a horror
I
movie.
would,
never
I would
You
say
seen
so.
Terrifier?
I would say so. Kind of. Well,
Does it
I mean,
match up? That's wild if it
there's-
does.
It goes over because Terrifier has like a different. There's what is it like adults and stuff?
Yeah.
Or there are some teenagers in there. I think.
There's some teens, but they don't ever delve into like kids getting hurt. Wait, did Evil did do it? Oh, that's wild as fuck.
but also like
Evil Dead, hashtag fuck them
but
kids.
Terrifier is also Terrifier is also like a B movie kind of, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not
Oh, yeah,
technically
but
like
they-
it didn't go to theaters, so like they
Next one did.
didn't technically have any like anything holding them back. I feel like movies that go to theaters have to fit within
Yeah.
like,
That's all I was
definitely.
asking. 'Cause I heard that
but
the
it's
Evil Dead
still
movie was wild as
yeah,
fuck.
it's still
Yeah,
out
it's
there. Like
wild.
there's still crazy.
I
shit
can't
that
wait for
happens.
part 3. They have to do a part 3. Like this.
Well,
is
if
gonna,
they mention there's three books, yeah, it
you
would
know?
make a lot
Yeah.
of sense.
I'm hoping it's one of those things where all them come together, like the one from the
Yeah.
first one.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be cool if they do like say
Yeah.
3 books and then like a master movie for it, where it's like
Evil
all
Dead
of it pulled
Endgame.
together.
Well, and I want to see because this one. This one has like an opening scene that's separate from the story that the rest of the movie is.
Oh.
I want to see what happens with that.
I
Yeah.
love shit like that though, where it's like
Yeah.
they give it to you in the beginning, so you kind of forget about it.
Yes.
You're like, oh shit.
They bring
Marvel
it
does a
back
lot
at
of
the
that.
very end, kind of in a way, but like you never really see where it goes.
Right.
And
So
you know what's so funny about that? When I was in the theater, there's those people that just arrive like when they arrive kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They missed that whole scene, and literally they came when what's her name? The main actress that
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The
Yeah.
one that's on tour.
yes.
Yeah.
but they literally arrived when she's looking up at the apartment building.
Oh,
And
wow.
So it's like if you take out that whole first scene, like
Yeah.
you don't know it just happened
Yeah.
at the very
Really missing
end.
any part
Yeah.
of a movie is just kind of dumb especially if you're going to pay to watch
Why
it.
would you come that late?
Yeah,
That's
but
pretty late.
Funny
That's
enough,
like
it's only
because
like
you went through all those trailers and then the whole like 10,
There's like
15
30
minutes,
minutes
of
worth of
that's
trailer.
like,
Yeah.
45 minutes late.
seriously, you missed
I
a lot.
timed it. It's 23 minutes.
God.
Yeah, because
Damn.
she's noticed I get really like fidgety.
Yeah.
I've like once the like after so long, I just can't.
Sometimes
I'm
they'll
like,
throw in a little
"Let's
extra one and
fucking
it's like
go."
25 minutes. But
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, okay, gotta start now. Let's go.
Well, at that part in the movie, it's like 15, 20 minutes in.
yeah.
So
That's a
they
lot
really
of movies.
missed a lot.
So it's funny. You think like not showing up 15 minutes later, you're not gonna miss anything. But
They
Who
missed
thinks
it.
like that?
I mean,
Terrible movie.
I'm sorry.
Justin shows up like 45 minutes early so that way he doesn't miss the preview.
I don't want to miss previews. I don't
Yeah,
want to miss
that's-
opening
I'm the
night.
same way,
He's
though,
seen
like-
these previews 1,000 fucking
Hey, these
times.
movies are
Reviews.
expensive
Yeah, I was about
nowadays.
to say I'm spending money on it. I want to see Maria
I was
Menounos
gonna
and
say,
all
you're
that. Thank you, Nuvi. Like, I want all that shit.
Like, how would we know that Straw Hat Goofy, you know,
Yeah.
was making it in Cinemarks
I
if we
do
didn't
love
get to the
watching him
sh-
on
Yeah.
True.
get there early, you
I
know,
do
like
enjoy it.
Killing it.
What else have y'all been watching?
Let's see. I know that we all watched, or most of us watched The Bear.
yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
Season 2 of The Bear came out. We were talking about like actors and actresses. I don't know why it immediately
It
like
is. It gives me
associated with it, but
anxiety.
there were so many in the hour episode, so many big names in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
the Christmas
so
one.
many
Yeah,
actors. Yeah.
man,
Jamie
it
Lee
was
Curtis.
packed. John
was like-
Mulaney, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee
Her.
Curtis. Oh, her performance was
She-
so.
I was telling
good.
Crystal, I was like,
Yeah.
anybody that had an argument behind her not deserving the award she got for Everything Everywhere All at Once, like, watch that episode of The Bear by itself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she was phenomenal in that
So
episode.
good.
So fucking good.
We were watching it and I was like, I need you to Google who this person is right now.
Thought it was for a
Because
second, I
was
thought it
like,
was the mom from
all
Home
the
Alone.
different
I
people.
was like, I don't know if her hair's throwing me off or what it is.
That's one of those shows that like it just popped off. It got so popular so fast, but it's like, and it's weird because I think it's because a lot of people that worked in the food industry relate.
yeah.
You know, like it's just
Hard
one of those like
relate,
heart,
yeah.
like oh my god, like I relate to that.
Yeah.
And then it's just on top of
Dude.
that, just like the
you
I don't-
know,
I think it's the dude from Shameless that helped him too.
Oh
He was
yeah,
a very
absolutely.
popular
But like
face in front
everyone,
of it.
everyone in that show does amazing acting. Like it's not just like I don't know, it's not just
the
like
acting's really
basic.
great.
No, it's everybody acts their asses off,
Yeah.
and it sounds. I've never worked in the food industry, minus a few days at Wendy's and waiting like one table.
It's rough.
But everybody I've talked to that's done it say it's real. It feels
So
like a
real.
real experience.
You know,
and-
one part of it that happens is a very small piece that happens a few times that it strikes like trauma for me is whenever the receipts are coming, like when the orders are coming through,
God,
it's
they
just
don't
nonstop.
stop.
I'm like, oh my God, no, not Domino's again. No.
I don't know if I could ever go to Chicago after watching this show though, because that show they seem so like intense.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean that's
normal
Aggressive.
conversation when I like there are people and they're talking and I hear them going at it like I'd have punched 3 people in the mouth already and they're
Yeah.
like, all right, we're good. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well, it's like you hear people say like Southern hospitality and like people are nicer in the South kind of stuff. Like it's true. Like I've been to New York many times and I've been to Chicago a few times. I very rarely yell at people at restaurants because I know what everyone's going through. But I legitimately in New York and obviously like I
York
haven't
was
done it in
bad.
Chicago, but in New York I legitimately like asked for my money back and I yelled at these people because they were being so rude. And I was like, fuck this place. I think it was McDonald's too. Like,
Yeah,
which
you
is
told me
crazy.
that.
Yeah, it was. I was so mad at how these people were like just being
Yeah.
that I was just like, nope, I'm not giving you guys my money.
I have a friend that went to New York and she was telling me, she's like, dude, people are so rude up there. She's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't matter like what you're doing. She's like, they're just fucking
real.
rude. She's like, I don't know if
Chicago just is
they
like,
like, mean to be or what.
It
But
just seems super fast paced
Yeah.
and like everybody's overly familiar with everyone.
Yeah.
Like
can you imagine like McDonald's being like the bear over there?
Big Bear.
We need 500 fucking fries.
Corner. Like
Happy
I want-
birthday, Grimace.
There's so many things in that show, like the one where he goes to like Denmark.
Oh,
I think it
that's
was Denmark,
awesome.
right?
Copenhagen.
Wherever it was.
Where I don't know where Copenhagen
It was the
is.
quietest, calmest episode.
Yeah.
I
And it was so
loved
nice.
that episode.
And Will Poulter, right? That's his name.
The
yeah.
guy from Meet the Millers.
Yeah,
Yep.
I realized I could listen to him talk all day.
Yeah.
And also, like, I've never been attracted to him, but in this
good-looking
episode, I was
dude.
like, oh my God, he's hot.
it's that Marvel,
Yeah.
Marvel money.
Marvel Magic. Yeah,
Yeah, he got
Oh,
to do
He had
yeah.
that.
that Adam Warlock
Yeah.
body.
He's still like, how are you so jacked making muffins? Like, this is crazy.
Now the episode ended and Justin was like, I can listen to him talk forever.
Yeah,
And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what's happening right now?
He has
I
a
was
good
like,
voice.
Is this his
He
real
had a-
accent?
yeah.
I'm
It's really
into
great.
it.
I actually really liked watching Richie
Yeah, his growth was
character.
great.
Yeah, his character growth.
Is that the one that I hate?
yes.
The cousin.
Yeah, I loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
It changed- it
His
changed-
episode was great.
I mean, it changed
Did
your
you catch
entire
the-
perspective of
Yeah.
like you did not like him as a character at all. Like
I
the
don't know if
entire
that's just good writing or good acting or
I think
what it is.
you're definitely
but-
not really supposed to like him.
Yeah, you're supposed to feel like he's a piece of shit. Like he's
Yeah.
gonna fuck him over at some point.
And then they do well. It's not that.
well, he also
don't think
thinks
he's
that
gonna
too,
fuck
though.
him
Yeah.
over,
He
yeah.
also
he just
thinks that.
stresses me out is a thing, and I think that's what Carmen's Carmen
Carmen. I kept calling him Carmine.
Carmine.
I was like,
They call him Carmi.
That's
The
such a badass name.
The sister, what's her name?
Carmine Infantino.
I don't know. I'm bad with names.
Anyway, the sister.
Sugar?
Sugar.
Oh yeah,
That's what
sugar.
they call her.
They
but
call her
it's
sugar.
like,
Because she threw
Natalie
sugar
or
in something instead of
something,
salt
yeah.
or something. They explained that, yeah.
But that's like so. In one of the episodes, she like tells Carmi like, "You got to do something with him because he is just like in the way and like stressing me out." And that's exactly how I feel about him. I'm like, he's gonna fuck something up.
Yep.
Like he's just stressing me
But
out.
when he has his fucking moment at the end,
But
though.
what a turnaround.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like, look at him thriving.
I know. I was like, oh, look at him go. He needed a purpose.
Yeah.
And then he had a purpose.
He found it.
Yeah.
This is Taylor Swift, though. That's what gave him purpose.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, yes. I was like,
I forgot all about
so
that shit.
relevant.
You know, you've been awfully quiet over there, Perkins. What are you watching?
Honestly, I've
It could
been
be
watching.
anything.
I went way back, and I've been watching a lot of Ippo, the boxer. Like my brother actually put me on it for once, and he was like, "You're gonna watch this shit," and it's just like, and it's really interesting to see how much anime has changed over the years because. I can't think of an anime that had dick jokes in it right now to save my life, but Ippo has had about 6, 7 throughout the episode. And it's not a small dick joke. They gave this man an elephant trunk. And that's the joke.
God.
And they're like, yeah, stay away from him, women. He has a fucking like, it's so out of pocket, out of nowhere. Like, they're seriously boxing. He wins.
Dick falls out.
And then, dude, they were just showered. And then he was like, oh, yeah, everyone does it. Dick. And it does the elephant noise. to let you know what's going on. And it's the most random shit.
Didn't you get your brother into anime?
I did.
So it's such a weird turn me hearing that your brother made you watch an anime. Because
Yeah, he likes the fighting ones. Like he at first he got into Attack on Titan, and then he was like, "I'm Eren Yeager now," and he does that every time he watches something new. Like we'll tell him about Black Clover, Attack on Titan. He'll come back around. Man, I told you about fucking Asta, right? And then with fucking Attack on Titan, he already was tracking like Dragon Ball Z and all that.
Yeah.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen, he was like, man, I told you about Jujutsu Kaisen. Our God of High School, he'll just do that. He doesn't want to admit that he likes it. Now he's just full on into it.
that's
He doesn't
awesome.
care.
Man, Jujutsu Kaisen comes back next week.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Jobless Reincarnation comes back out too. Did any of y'all watch the Black Clover movie yet? I know y'all were
So,
catching up on Black Clover.
We haven't watched the movie
This
yet.
past week, we binged
Justin
all of
hates
like
me.
the other TV shows that came out. So this next week, we're gonna finish Black Clover so we can watch the movie.
The movie's lit. The movie's lit.
I'm
They
so
do
obsessed
some-
with this show right now.
Who's your favorite character?
Good.
Which
I'm
show is
curious.
it?
Black Clover.
My favorite character? Yami.
Yami is such an easy
Dude,
choice. Yeah.
Yeah.
we realized she has a thing for Chris Sabat though, like the voice actor.
Oh,
But I was
that's
like,
it,
oh, I love
yeah.
this character.
She
He
also
was
likes.
like, oh my God,
she also
you
likes
have an
All
anime
Might
type. And I was like,
because
what?
All Might.
she was talking. She was like, I think I may like him more than I like All Might, and I was like, man, there's a connection here, and it's because they
same
sound the
person.
exact same. Like she did the exact same character. Which don't get me wrong, I like him too.
His voice is epic. He
What about you?
He has like
Who's your
the best
favorite?
anime voice.
Man, I'm such a sucker for like
like his
shonen main
character.
characters.
So Asta?
Asta's
Dude,
killing
Asta
it.
Grow, okay, at the beginning, he was so fucking annoying. Cause I'm positive creator took notes because people were complaining hard about how much he was yelling. Tell me he was not yelling
No,
from
he-
episode 1 to like 5. I think he yelled.
Imagine like
so
Bakugo
much.
from
I
like
like-
My
I feel like it
Hero,
doesn't
they,
bother me 'cause I like
toned him
Bakugo
down, which is great for me because I hate characters
He
like
got
that.
that
I like
elephant
them.
trunk.
One of my favorite characters that doesn't get enough love in the anime until recently is Gordon.
Dude, yes.
Gordon's
he's such a
great.
nice guy to poison.
I think
He's
Gordon's
He
like,
keeps on
Yeah,
getting
he's on my
shit
list.
on though. He's like, I just want to be here with my friends.
I just want to be able to hear what he's saying.
you
can
will.
Because I mean, we're getting there. I was like, he just
Don't mess
started
with my
like
friends.
talking.
Don't mess with my real
But at
best
first we were trying to read it, and if you like on Hulu, they had it to where every time he said something, you could just read what he said because we watch it, dubbed. But then we switched to Crunchyroll, and it just had like the subtitles there, and I was like, "What the fuck does that mean?" Because I can't read it. It's not in English, and I'm like, "Oh."
For
He's like
context, this
somebody-
character looks just like a like he looks like he walked out of like a My Chemical Romance. Like he's got
Yeah.
like
Nice.
dark black
He looks
makeup
like
and
the
black lips.
lead singer of
Social
Wilson White.
anxiety.
They always leave his character behind and when they go places, and he just whispers like super quiet, and it's always like when you could read it was like
"We're
super
best
like
friends."
we're best friends.
My friends so
I'm
much.
happy we're doing this together. Please come back. I miss you guys.
Yeah,
And
he's
his
always
character's
so
so
sweet.
weird.
Else. Like when he makes the dolls for everybody, he's trying to be friends.
Yeah.
Like, imagine a quiet person you've never talked to approaches you with a doll that looks like you.
He like opens up like
Oh,
in
I'd punch
Hercules
him in the
with
face.
dials.
He looks
This
super
is-
creepy,
Yeah.
but
He's like,
he's so
I'm friends
nice.
with all of you. I made a doll of you. That's not normal. I don't know how to feel about that.
It's
but he's
not?
really nice.
Gordon is the man. Where,
Fabian
That's
was
how
like,
me
"You
and
wanna
Fabian
see my
met,
doll?"
actually.
Fabian, where's my doll?
No, I feel like it's. I like it a lot. It's been really good. I was like, there's some that it takes me a while to get into, but I've been like,
That's what
just
took a little
put
bit
this
for me
shit
to get
on and
into.
let me fucking binge it. And he's like, I need breaks. And I'm like, I don't have time for fucking
I
breaks.
do,
I just
man.
want to
You
watch
know
all of it.
Speaking of stuff that's happened with anime, I know y'all have had to hear about the One Piece live adaptation. that's coming up now, what are your thoughts on it? I'll get my thoughts on it. I have a theory on how it's going to do, and it's really based off of passion. But what are you thinking about?
I don't think it's going to be successful because anime nerds can't let anything good happen. I think the casting has been spot on. I've seen some of the other characters.
the fish guy,
Yeah,
the one
the
I'd bring
fishman.
up.
The fishman looks stupid.
Buggy to me, like okay,
Buggy
there's
looks cool.
He looks like an evil. Like
Yeah.
the creation looks crazy. He looks scary. But then I wonder how they're gonna like do his character because his character's goofy as fuck.
Did you
I
any of you
could
guys
take-
watch One Piece?
I never watched it.
So I watched
I'm only
yeah.
like 60
Okay.
episodes deep. I will tell you that somebody told me recently some things about One Piece that I didn't know.
Did they
like,
spoil it? Because I know you hate.
No,
shit
it was like
that.
race for characters. Like, what's his name with
It's about to be
the
a
slingshot?
Like, how dare you.
Yeah, they each have a different race. Like
Yeah, he's black.
the only one that's Japanese is Zoro.
But it was
That's
this
fine.
character, the guy that created One Piece didn't want to color black people, so he kind of made them look a little more outlandish. Like he gave him like
Usopp.
Yeah, Usopp.
Oh.
In the anime, Usopp
knew
is
that one.
supposed
I
to
just
be
wasn't
black.
sure.
If you
Yeah.
were to Google him right now, he looks like a white guy.
Oh wait, they gave him a big ass nose. Now I think about
Big
Oda.
nose, huge
Oda,
lips.
I'm just now catching on,
Yeah.
you motherfucker.
And so some of the fishmen are
What in
also
the
supposed to be black, but again, he refused to draw like color some of his things. Also, apparently Zoro has a habit of killing the black characters.
What?
Oh God! Now I'm gonna have to deep dive into this.
Yeah, look at those. Tell me if I'm wrong because this
Whoa!
is just what one person
this
told
is
me.
crazy. But what the fuck? No, I'm gonna have
One
to do
Piece.
research on this. 'Cause that just
Racist.
blew my mind. It makes it's sad.
I think it's going to fail though, honestly, just because there's going to be diehard fans that aren't going to want to give it a chance, and there's too much source material that they're not going to cover.
Well,
There's
Oh,
like
Lord.
30,000
Oh, man.
episodes.
you gotta imagine how One Piece paces itself, though. Like they drag.
Yeah, it does pace
the
very slow.
ever living hell out
Yep.
of shit. If you are on the screen, you get a side story. We are gonna know about your life and your fucking
Dude.
parents' life and your friends'
Makes me
life.
feel important.
And,
There are
like,
people that I've
That's my
heard, like,
side
because
story.
my buddy Day Day's been talking to me a lot about it, and he's like, yeah, they go through this arc literally 400 episodes later that talk about this one thing that was already 5 episodes. I'm like, that's too fucking much.
yeah, but if they go by the manga standards, the manga actually progresses pretty fast. But my thing is, I don't know how they're gonna shove all of this into like I don't even know how many episodes you're supposed to do.
I think it's only
Yeah.
supposed to be 12, and I'm pretty sure they're going to go all the way to the Grand Line in the first season.
Oh, is it? And it's gonna be like a show.
Yeah, it's a show.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Live
What
action.
I'm scared of the
Is it live
CGI.
action?
Yeah.
You know what, though? I
CGI.
think it's supposed to feel a little goofy, though, because, I mean, if you look at the character designs for One Piece, like,
They're fucking
they look
weird.
stupid.
Yeah.
They look
Get a
dumb.
chance to
The
Google
Gomo
it.
was cringe,
watch
bro.
the trailer?
Gomo! Gum! And he
so
says it
goofy.
so cringy. I'm sorry.
His
Yeah,
voice,
man, that
his
looks
voice
great.
is really. It's not Luffy. Like you know, it's not Luffy.
Come on. Oh no,
Pistol.
shut the fuck up. Like the characters, I don't think there's anything wrong with
I think the character designs are great.
But in the past,
Minus
like if
the
you've ever
Fishman.
watched any anime related thing, except Rurouni Kenshin is the one that has done like amazing. If you go watch it, they took their time, and it's easier to do that because we've had samurai movies, we've had ninja
Yeah.
type shit. And that,
Yeah.
what is fucking Rurouni Kenshin?
I want to know
Bam.
something.
Ask away.
So, for like live action anime, like whether it's shows or movies, do you think the problem is that they're trying to make it too much like the anime so people enjoy it?
I know what it
Or is it like lack of like budget and like, because I mean, I feel like if they have a good story in their show, why can't they have a good story in their live actions? And I want to know like where that disconnect is.
I got you. Look, check this out. I want you to think about how excited you got. We'll use Dragon Ball Z. Everyone's used that. So, Dragon Ball Z, they build up the fight. When they're punching each other, doing the waves, what do you have in the background that you can't get in live action? You have the flashing lights really popping off.
So like
you have the
effects.
emotional shit, the effects that make it stand the fuck out. Now take that, throw that shit on the screen. You're not gonna get the same thing.
Yeah,
It's not
so
easy. There's a sense of unrealism when it comes to anime that you're like, it's a fucking anime, but it still looks really good. Yu Yu Hakusho, when he did his first fucking spirit shotgun, that's fucking lit. You can't take
Talk
that shit.
Perkins.
You can't take something like that,
We're gonna see it.
that energy, and just fucking have it be portrayed live. Imagine if we saw Yu Yu Hakusho live. Spirit Gun, when he's fighting the demon, you know he killed him because he shot him in the mouth in his soft spot. You
But you
can't
don't get all the
translate
effects of
that
it,
shit
like-
live action with the
gonna try.
same energy. It doesn't happen, and it sucks. There's a lot of anime that could look fucking beautiful live action. Trying to do all of the same shit that anime portrays to us, that excited feel we get, it doesn't happen very well. Death Note, fucking horrible. Ugh. Like, bad, bro.
I didn't hate it.
Like,
I hated the anime though. So
Scott Pilgrim. Like, you know how like that is?
But
That
What
was
if they
so
didn't-
good because they
Scott
they-
Pilgrim hadn't had an anime first though.
Yeah, I know, but I was just saying, like, if they, because I feel like some of that, like, whenever they like fight and stuff, like, they kind of
Yeah.
give you like a little extra.
They do
to, like,
do that. They like have like the punch effects and
Yeah,
stuff.
but see, they did it correctly. They were like they didn't have source material before.
it was like a
that.
comic
They
or
just went
something.
for
But it was
that.
a
They
comic,
did it.
Oh, they
yeah.
had the manga.
Comic.
Like the-
No, the book. The books existed.
I think they mixed it right. They mixed the effects and shit. Like
The-
they didn't go full anime, but they did. I don't know how
Well,
to explain
they
it.
definitely leaned into like for Scott Pilgrim specifically the video game aspect of it all, and it's like they were trying to create a live action video game because that's how the story felt.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of those cheesy effects, but those cheesy effects when you're trying to have like a serious fight between two villains like Goku and Vegeta in
It would just
space,
cheapen it.
and you have those fights, it looks silly. Like
That's true. Like Scott Pilgrim is like a comedy.
yeah, it's not serious, so it
Yeah.
looks good. But it's kind of like when we talk about why DC can't do their animated movies into live action. It's because they're doing outlandish shit in those animated movies. Same thing with comics. That's why
It's
we
hard to
get a lot of
replicate.
why comic books are better or why the source material is better because you can't translate that,
That
the
is
same way.
such a perfect transition. But I'll wait for you guys to.
No, I mean, you,
finish
He's always
up
trying to
on-
transition us.
Well,
No, you're good,
I mean,
man.
it's
Transition me,
literally
man.
like
Is this where we talk about the Flash?
yes.
Okay.
Danny,
Ah, the
you
fucking
already
Flash.
knew where this was
Flash.
going.
I did not, but I spoiled it because I'm not excited about it.
That's
I didn't
okay.
see
It's
nothing.
fair.
So let's just give a little rating for the people that did see it.
Okay.
Let's-
Start with Alex because she looks like she's geared up.
Oh, I was thinking.
My bad. She was ready.
I was like,
Hell
yeah. 10. I'll give it like a 7.5.
okay.
I'm gonna give it a 9.
I'll wait for you guys.
No, I want
Go
to.
ahead.
yeah.
I want to
I
hear
was like, you're
yours.
next in
Yeah, we're
line?
just going down
I'm
the
gonna
line.
give it a 4.
Expected.
I'll give it a 6.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna give it like an 8. I loved it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I loved it for what it was, like kind of going into it.
Yeah.
For what it was.
I thought it was a good DC movie. Like it
I
was
liked
fun.
it.
The story was good. It was self-contained, but it didn't have to be self-contained.
Question. I don't spoil it. Do they fucking reset shit? Do we get excited for a new arc of everything?
Kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
Why is he doing that?
It's not. It's
right.
not what we were talking about.
First of
Not
all,
what we were talking about.
if you're listening, we are gonna give
We're
spoilers.
gonna spoil the shit out
So
of
if
it.
you haven't
is
watched
Perkins
it,
okay with spoilers?
I
Yeah.
definitely just asked.
Yeah,
Spoilers
he
all
asked
the
it.
shit out.
Nobody's watching it apparently anyway, so let's just go and fucking
This
spoil
movie
it.
has failed, by the way.
I'll
I
get
don't
into that.
understand
I'll
how
get
it
into the
works.
numbers on
But
that.
I want to see. I want to hear how they reset. Because if they reset, it makes me feel like there's a chance we can
It's-
get good
So for
DC
somebody
movies.
who doesn't know anything, I feel like they left it with a very like clean slate. Like
can't
they,
remember how it
the way
ended.
it ended was for them to basically do whatever the fuck they wanted to afterwards.
Like restart? Like did they
I don't
restart?
think
Because
they-
that's what
Kind
I
of.
want. Like that's
Okay,
like
kind of and kind of not.
Oh, I remember now.
they keep.
Yep.
Do they get rid of old
So,
characters?
Let's just talk about. I mean, it's probably easier if we just talk about the ending first,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
go ahead.
Okay.
Are we going to talk about the post-credit scene ending or
Well,
the
That's what I was
ending?
the
thinking.
ending, and then the post credit.
All right, so ending right off the rip. George Clooney.
George
I thought that was a post credit.
No,
No, that was like the right
My
before the
bad.
credits.
So
Yeah.
George Clooney comes out, right?
George
yes.
Clooney,
This is
Batman.
established.
he steps. He's like, I got to talk to Flash. Flash walks up to him, and he does look surprised because he was
Yeah.
expecting Brad Pitt. God damn.
Brad Pitt.
Ben Affleck.
Make
Ben Affleck.
Brad Pitt
Let
Batman.
me-
Ben Affleck.
I'd support
To
it.
understand this off the bat, Ben Affleck came out. He was helping in the beginning, and throughout the movie, of course, Flash jumps to a different
Yeah.
and does that shit. So we don't get to.
Does what shit? You should finish your sentence.
Okay, well, I mean,
He
he
fucks up the multiverse.
Yeah.
He tries to save his mom.
that's just the thing,
He does
though.
that.
Have you watched the animated
Yes.
Flashpoint
yes.
Paradox?
I'm ready to hear.
So
like,
it's very similar to that, minus all the cool shit that they do in the Flashpoint
I mean, yeah,
Paradox.
you're right.
Is there
so,
negative
like-
Flash?
No, they don't get to that yet.
What do you mean?
Exactly.
Kept it very. So I feel like what they did is they kept it very like contained within itself to the point to where they didn't bring in a bunch of extra characters. Like they didn't introduce you to new characters for you to be like, oh, that was so dope, and then be like, where the fuck did they go? Like they did it in a way to where like he's his own villain like in this movie, and so they
there's a
like go
reverse
through all of their
S-Flash by
steps
saying-
to reset everything so they have a clean slate. So going forward, movie wise, they could do whatever the fuck they wanted to, and they don't have to explain any of it. Like they
So-
did a really good
Smart, I
job. I feel like.
So like the big reveal is that George Clooney's at the end, right?
Yeah.
But you don't
The
get to
timeline still
understand
fucked.
like you don't get answers. You don't get to understand how he fucked up the timeline. Like, is this a different universe?
It has to be
Is this
a
the
different
same universe,
universe,
but
wouldn't it?
this happened and so he fucked up like that?
Because he thought he fixed it. Like he went back before he made the change that fucked everything up, and he unmade the change, but he still fucked it up.
Technically, he did change something too, though, which
Yeah.
is because when he moved the camera, so that camera move, that very subtle thing.
No, it was that he put the tomatoes at the
tomatoes
top
back.
Yeah, the
shelf.
tomato, yeah, sorry.
And
Yeah.
he had a whole conversation.
We're
with his
all over the
mom.
place in this explanation. It's very. I've seen the movie.
I don't
I'm
wanna-
confused by everything that's going on right now. So I can only imagine.
for everybody who did
That's
see
true.
it. When he explains with the spaghetti. Like when he explains like how
Yeah.
like, everything gets like tangled up and it's one big ass mess, and he's like, "Well, you changed something here," and he's like, "Well, why is this different in the past?" And he was like, "It just kind of created this whole thing where it affected the entire timeline
Yeah.
and rewrote it." I feel like that also explains why like he made changes, which is why whenever he's
Yeah,
here,
it's
it's not
the butterfly
same
effect.
universe.
Okay,
Yeah,
so let me-
which is
okay.
why we get.
I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Again, and then you and Fabian, all of you, fuck it. I just want to know: does it or does it not seem like we're going to get like a restart, fresh
So-
movies, or do they kill
You
any of
guys
the
don't
main
think
No,
characters?
no.
For me, I think so.
No,
All
I
right,
think
so
they're dropping all this.
the reason
Yes.
why I think so is because not only what James Gunn has said himself, but because of what you got in this movie. James Gunn has said definitively there are two characters that exist within the DCEU that will translate into DCU.
Yeah.
Jason Momoa's Aquaman and Blue Beetle. Those aren't the Blue Beetle's still a DCEU movie. His first real DCU movie is going to be Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
So, in the post-credit scene of Flash, when him and Jason Momoa are drinking and he's explaining that he's been into multiple universes, he asks, is he still there? How does he look in the other universes? And Barry says, he essentially says, you're the same in every multiverse.
He does say that like the Batman, like
Like-
he says Batman changes.
Like
He
Batman's
always
changed,
looks
but he's like,
different,
but how
different
am I?
ages,
How am
and-
I? And he's like, no, buddy, you're pretty much constant. For me, I feel like because I read a few articles, James Gunn did have a hand in the end of this movie.
Okay.
He took out
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
cameos from Henry Cavill and
I want to get into those, but
Batman coming back, but I think it's because he was
Yeah.
trying to kill that universe.
So,
Yeah.
so those ones are done. So
They're gone.
So Superman
I just
is
think
gone.
it was a shitty reset because you
Oh,
don't
shitty
get to
reset,
see this
indeed.
on screen. You have to know extensive knowledge about reading on James Gunn articles.
Yeah.
You have to dive into this.
yeah.
You have to go into this shit. Like,
But knowing it all, it
definitely
is kind of
explain
cool. But
I
Yeah,
mean,
because I'm also like, you say all that, and I don't read into
Yeah.
like the articles and stuff. So I was like, oh, I didn't get that.
There's nothing that
Wait.
definitively
the Flash get
establishes a reset.
So he didn't say if the Flash is getting replaced or not yet, and I think that's one of those up in the air kind of things. I have
He was out of there.
yeah,
like,
I thought
I've had
they
a
did.
sauce type crazy.
I think they might have
No,
just
they had
because
stuff
I
get
remember
pulled
reading
back.
that, but
they didn't say it, but they
pretty
definitely
sure-
didn't.
They didn't
allude
say
to
if
the
he
fact that he's gone or staying.
I think he is.
Wild.
I mean,
But
to
some
top
of
it
his charges
too,
got, like,
I remember
reversed.
seeing that whole thing where if the Flash does well,
Then
blah,
they could
blah,
keep him.
Well, it's
Like,
not.
It's not doing well.
So they just announced. I don't know if you guys saw that article too, how they're giving away tickets as well.
Yeah.
because they're about to remove it from the theaters completely.
What?
And-
It wasn't
yeah.
that? Okay, no. You're
I didn't think it was
open
that
to
bad.
him. You're more
Nice.
comic.
So
I didn't think it was bad at all.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was a fun movie, but
Yeah.
because of like the whole like DC movie franchises changing,
Yeah.
none of it meant anything to me. You know, like
yeah.
it doesn't like we had this cool cameo, we had this like there was a lot of cool cameos, but
Bunch of
none
cool
of it
cameos.
means anything because we're restarting everything.
Theaters open.
So it's like I don't know, like it's kind of like watching the second Shazam. Like it was a cool movie, but it doesn't mean anything because we're never gonna see those characters again. Like there's
You are
nothing to be
right.
excited about. So
I would
That's-
say it's an argument could be made that we're spoiled because movies don't have to be like, what happens next?
but that's the thing though. Yes, we're spoiled, but that's what these franchises are supposed to do.
Yeah,
Like we don't go to watch like Titanic thinking like, oh man, I can't wait for the sequel for this one. You
Right.
know, like we go in, we know for a
We might
fact.
get one
sure not
now.
that
Yeah.
All I'm saying,
Oh, that sucks.
all I'm saying is we shouldn't be going to the movies watching The Flash and expecting CW CGI, which
So
That CGI was
I
so
didn't-
CGI was shoddy as hell.
Yeah.
you're not
That's
gonna,
rough.
and you can't come out. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry because I
Crystal
feel like,
loves CW.
she does. She loves everything the CW puts out.
I was like, I don't watch anything on CW.
You said, bitch. You said what?
I was like, I was watching The Flash really hard.
But honestly, like CGI isn't gonna completely take me out of a movie. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like judge a movie like on. I've watched an entire movie about a killer tire. So I mean,
my
like
thing about the CGI though is I'm like, if I know that, you know, we've had all these movies before and I'm going in and I'm like, hey, I'm going to take this movie, I'm going to use this movie, I'm going to change what they've already done and I'm going to make it to where it kind of resets everything so I have a clean slate to do my future projects. I'm also not going to put a fuck ton of movie in money into a movie that I know isn't going to be. So I would, instead of spending extra money on making sure that I have good CGI for a movie that's not going to be very important in the future, like I would pull that.
So-
but I feel like
That's
they
fair.
did what I feel like they did is whenever he changed their timeline and he went to go look for the other superheroes and couldn't find them and then came back and was like, okay, they don't exist here. When they reset everything and he was like, okay, thinking he's going to go see Ben Affleck and then saw George Clooney, it's like, what the fuck? You're not the same. So in that moment, they were explaining like not all these superheroes, like we could still get like a Wonder Woman, Batman,
Yeah.
Superman, all of them, but they're not going to look the exact same way. And they did that by like throwing little stuff in to kind of explain like, okay, yeah, things are going to be different, but they're not going to be the same. So they left it open for.
There was like a virtual effects artist that came out, and he's like, if it seems like it was worked on in a week, it probably was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard that. You were like,
Just like, what's his name? The creator of it, because he's the one that worked on it, but he's the one that came out and said, well, it was intentionally meant to,
shitty.
look shitty, look like that. It was a creative choice. But that's not the fact.
I think he meant for some parts. I don't think all because there's some parts
mean,
that were like
Was there, like,
it was
bad?
The
bad
part where he was in the what's it called?
in the Speed Force.
Yeah, it was so bad.
Whenever
But-
he's like running, he's
yeah. And I had to tell myself I was like, this is such terrible CGI because normally CGI is like one of those things that distracts me if it's bad. But I basically just told myself like, okay, this is supposed to be some kind of like magical place or whatever. Maybe they meant to.
That's
do
kind of why
that.
how I justified it too. I'm like, none of this shit's real. The CGI can look like
Yeah,
shit.
exactly.
You know what though? You know what I'm most salty about is that the fact that how much the story changed from like the original, like when they were telling us we're getting a Flashpoint movie.
Yeah.
It was supposed to
Yeah.
be like the cartoon,
Yeah.
which would have
Such a
been
good movie.
would have been so good. Like, can you imagine seeing Jason Momoa? And
Fighting Gal
and-
Gadot
yeah,
and,
exactly
like-
like that fight, and then having
Cyborg and all them.
Negan as
Yeah.
Batman's dad,
So
and
this
all
is
that stuff would have been
this
so
is a
good.
really good point here.
Yep.
Because I mean, along with the creative choices that they had, and I think they said James Gunn pulled some cameos, but why not bring out, some like
Yep.
we're gonna bring Thomas Wayne in, and more specifically, not focus on the Superman aspect, because that was honestly the only saving factor I feel here.
Was Supergirl?
Yeah, I mean, she did
She was
great.
great.
She was
Oh,
dope.
she
She was
was.
really
So
cool.
good.
But why not bring in Grant Gustin from The
Yeah,
Flash?
yeah, actually,
that was
So it was cool that he was
Ezra,
sense,
in,
right?
yeah, Ezra was in the
He
TV
was.
shows.
He was. So why not do the whole wouldn't
Why not
that
go
make
all out?
sense? Like,
It does if you're a surviving film studio making surviving film movies. But if you're the DCEU that's already been cut, just speaking from a business and movie perspective, if I'm James Gunn
Yeah.
and I realize that I now can take from this and save these cameos, save Thomas Wayne, save big shit. Maybe he wants to do a
That's
Flashpoint
true,
movie
actually.
later because
I
he's
respect
resetting.
that.
Why give them to a movie studio that you absolutely know you're ending?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like going all out knowing you're about to close up
They
shop.
can 100% like years from now do another Flashpoint and then do it the way that everybody wants it to be done, the way they want it to be done. And then what's going to happen is people are going to be like, oh yeah, remember when they
My
remade
biggest
that Flashpoint?
argument-
That first one was trash, like,
is why people are so upset
right now,
about
it does
James
what it
Gunn
needs to.
direction with DC. People are like,
We haven't even seen it yet.
If Henry Cavill's out, I'm out. If The Rock's not, like, you're literally saying that all these movies that we've said are bad mean so much to you that you're mad at
You're
somebody
not
for
gonna
coming
watch
in who has made many successful projects, and you're like, well, he's going to screw it up.
Yeah,
Like,
I hate
How
that
do you
right now.
dog shit?
Has James Gunn missed?
I don't think so.
Everyone hates. Well, it's like a 50-50 every time I hear it. But the Suicide Squad that came out, I liked.
I
that.
Oh
liked
no,
it too.
that wasn't a miss.
No, I think the problem with people that have seen his work, at least with comic book and superheroes,
Yeah.
it's all been kind of comedic, and they're worried
Okay.
that if you give James Gunn the keys to Batman,
Oh,
is he
yeah,
going to
yeah.
make Batman crack a joke right in the middle of something?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already doing that.
I feel like Batman used to do that though.
It's very dry jokes, like
Yeah.
very like, but not like funny Star Lord esque jokes. And I think
Yeah.
that's. I don't have that concern, but
I'm
gonna
not
lie.
worried about that.
I really
Yeah.
like when Zack Snyder took like the new 52 versions of these characters, like where they were supposed to be like dark esque.
Yeah.
And so for people like getting like offended, this is like the end of a saga. This is the end of a whole, like this was supposed to be the ending and it's not. But even I think Blue Beetle is going to be the first film to kick it off, right?
it's technically a DCEU movie or DCU
Oh, really?
movie. It's not, or yeah, it's old regime. Like
Oh.
it's not James Gunn.
Yeah.
But he is keeping
pull
that
into
character.
that.
Like this
Okay.
story is
Gotcha.
going to fit into his
So I
first.
wonder if he saw it and was like, "Yeah, this is good enough."
I
to
think so,
join.
and I think that's what
It
he's
looks
doing.
good,
He's like
though.
he knows
Yeah, it
that
does.
Aquaman has been great. Like people like Jason Momoa. They may not like the movies, but they
Yeah.
like Jason Momoa as Aquaman.
Yeah,
So
Side note, it's so weird for like to hear Jason Momoa being like, "Yeah, this is dog shit." What?
So,
That's your film.
I think that's why it's like The Flash wasn't. It was a throwaway movie, and I can
Yeah.
understand watching it knowing it's a throwaway movie, but.
it did have some fun parts.
You gotta-
There was cool
Yeah.
parts. Like I didn't like. I gave it a 6 because like I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like because of like the future aspects of this
The
film.
long
like,
term, I could see where
kinda,
it
like,
shoots low.
That's why I gave it a 9 because I
That's
feel
why
like
I like-
it did what it was supposed to do.
Like
for
I like
now.
Shazam.
Oh, yeah.
I like Shazam.
I like Shazam.
but I like it knowing that I don't have to worry about Shazam anymore.
Can we
I
talk
like
about the
Flash.
biggest moment of that movie though?
Shazam?
Talk about
No.
Nick Cage.
Nicolas
Flash.
Cage Superman.
Nick
Oh
Cage
yeah,
Superman.
that was
Got
cool.
him.
So-
We finally got to see him on screen.
Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman in the 90s or
Yeah.
2000s.
It was going to be a Tim Burton movie.
They made like he had a part in this movie fighting Brainiac. Actually, that was a giant Brainiac.
yeah.
really?
Yeah, that was like one of his
wow.
machines. and
Wasn't
that
it a
was-
spider, giant
yeah,
spider? Thing?
that was-
Yeah.
If you look, there's a movie or a documentary that came out that's like the Superman that never was or something,
Yeah.
and Kevin Smith had a big hand in it, and you get to see a lot of concept art.
Yeah.
And in that concept art, that's almost exactly what they put into this cameo portion. So it was really cool if you had done and you're right, you had to do a lot of
fucking
homework about a lot of stuff to understand
Yeah,
some of the deep cuts
yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
and
I
it does take it
strictly
away a little
fandom,
bit,
you know,
but
I could understand that.
yeah,
But I feel like it's one of those because if you didn't know that Nicolas Cage was going to
You're
be
like, what-
Superman
who
at
the
any
fuck
point, you'd
is
be like,
he here?
why the fuck was
happening?
poor CGI Nick Cage there?
So did it just sound like how do you
Like-
play
Okay.
it? Was it
So-
funny as fuck?
No,
just
it
to
was
see
serious.
It was
going to be a
serious, yeah.
serious Superman. Like
Yeah.
he wasn't going to be funny. It was
It was supposed to be like
Hardcore
part of
legit.
the like
Keaton universe.
yeah Michael Keaton Batman
Dude,
stuff.
they had a moment
So-
where they brought out Christopher Reeves too.
Yeah.
oh
But-
yeah,
It's still kind of a moment though. Like I didn't know there was gonna be a Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
Superman, and I was like, Nick Cage. Like it was still a moment. And then Danny explained it to me. I was like, what? And it
Yeah.
made it even cooler.
As
But
soon
it
as I
was
saw
still a
that
moment.
universe, I was like, "This is fucking Nicolas
Well,
because
Cage."
the first time because I remember his costume was very bright,
Yeah.
and I was like, no, they didn't, because you don't see his face at first, you just see his costume from the back, and I was like, no, they didn't.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
He
And I was
said it
like,
out loud.
I was like, oh my god! And then he turns around, it's Nick Cage with long hair, and just like I was like, oh my god, it was epic. That was probably
so
my
good.
favorite moment.
I mean, it was I think it was a fun movie. It
Yeah.
was. I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever going to be anything we call back to and be like, "Y'all remember that fucking Flash?"
They
movie?"
also did a callback to Injustice. So,
Oh, yeah.
So the Flash in Injustice, his special move, he does this thing where he time travels and then like kicks back on his own feet and then pushes off to like do his special move.
Yeah.
They actually do that. They
oh,
do
that's
that
what
in
the-
the
Were they?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's from
pretty
like
cool.
that's an Injustice
See,
callback.
there's so many fucking deep cuts in this movie, though. Like,
Yeah.
it was fun.
Yeah, it had fun moments. Just like as a whole, it just
I can understand why nobody's watching it.
and just
Yeah.
like knowing that it could have been Flashpoint, like the animated
Don't get me
movie.
wrong, I would have loved to
Yeah.
have seen.
That would have been the best
Wayne.
movie.
So is it
Yeah.
like completely
Yeah.
changed up from what I know as
They
an
pull a
animated
few
Flash?
things.
Yeah,
100%.
it's completely.
They do the whole. Have you seen it? Flashpoint.
I've seen it, and that's what I'm asking. Like, did they completely?
They do the
change
thing. You remember where Barry Allen's getting like electrocuted to try to get his powers back.
They do that, but they didn't do it as
They
intense.
did, yeah, they didn't do it.
I
as
think the
intense.
coolest-
It's still cool.
The coolest part of it was seeing like Kara, not Superman, like in the Russian like
Yeah.
thing. Like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
That was like
Oh,
the
that was
biggest
cool.
like shot for shot. I think
Yeah.
close look.
Oh,
at
yeah.
how
yeah.
it was supposed to be
When they deprave like Superman
of
and
all of
the-
his sun,
Oh man,
sunlight.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Yeah.
We talked a lot. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I was talking about things we had watched recently, I hadn't put Flash in that category. I didn't put
Yeah.
Evil Dead into that category. There is actually a lot that we fucking watched. recently.
So I watched Transformers. I don't know.
Wait,
yeah. Was
I
it
don't
good?
think
I'm
any-
going.
oh,
I'm going like next week.
Let
by
me
myself.
tell y'all,
I'll
it
watch
was
it.
actually pretty awesome. Cause I was a big Beast Wars fan.
Hell yeah.
I had the toy of the cheetah, and seeing the cheetah in live action.
Dude, I got that downstairs. Right
Dude,
now.
it was sick. It was
downstairs.
It was actually a pretty cool movie. It's also one of those things that it's one of those movies like Godzilla where you don't watch it for like well fleshed out story. You
Yeah.
just want to see giant
I just need to see
robots,
giant robots
and
fight other
badass
giant
act-
robots.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't
And
need humans.
and that's what it was. And honestly, Pete Davidson, he voiced one of the Transformers. Great, he was so good. And like his character was so good.
That's awesome.
And then one of the actors was in the musical Hamilton, so it was cool to see him like transition into film. Because I don't think I've seen him in. Oh wait, it was in.
He
but it was
in
another.
Godzilla.
Was it? What?
Pretty sure. As like I was like, hey, it's him from. Hold on, let me.
I don't
We're
even.
talking about the dude from Hamilton, the curly hair.
Yeah.
Hamilton?
Yeah, he's from Crystal. He's from Kimmy Schmidt.
No,
He's
different
the-
guy. Different guy.
Oh, different dude.
That's a different guy.
Like, yeah, curly hair. No,
I think he does have curly hair because
Somebody
I think he's
Google
like
Have you seen
Look at it.
Hamilton?
I think he's Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. His name's Anthony something.
I don't remember.
Hold on.
But yeah, he was great. He was great in this movie.
Anthony Ramos.
Talking
Yeah.
about universes too, and I know you said it was a throwaway, and this is spoiled for me. It's the only thing I know about it.
Yeah.
Is that they're teasing G.I. Joe's involvement
Yeah.
in Transformers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
which
a-
was
yes.
very weird. Like I did not see it coming. Kind of like
in the movie?
Yeah.
crossover
So-
type thing.
You've seen
What
him in
the
In the Heights.
fuck?
But
Apparently,
that's-
there was just
Also a
a
musical.
quick moment. Again, I haven't seen it yet, but
He was in
somebody
Godzilla.
hands somebody
I
a
don't even
card,
remember
and
him.
it's got the G.I. Joe
small
logo
role.
on it.
Oh, King of the
So I don't know. I mean, Hasbro
Are those-
technically, all of these things like Transformers and all of that. If you've ever watched the Toys That Made Us or haven't, you should. All
Toys
of
That Made
these
Us is really
properties started for toys.
Yeah.
G.I. Joe was only made because of toys. Transformers was only made because
Okay.
of toys. So Hasbro is a parent company. Like in the 80s, it was
That
a big
makes-
deal. They
that makes sense.
own all of them.
So also, slight spoiler.
No, don't spoil it for Justin.
I am gonna go see it, but
Well,
it's
it has to do with the GI Joe thing.
I'm okay with it. Go for it.
So like
I appreciate you.
the only reason why it makes sense that they tie in is, and I don't remember the GI Joe movies that well, but they have like this mecha suit in GI Joe that
Yeah, the
some
first
of
one.
that they wear that is kind of based off of a suit that they wear in. So Pete Davidson's character gives the guy from Hamilton a suit. Basically.
I've seen that suit too
And
because it's
he-
in the trailer.
He almost looked like Mega Man.
Yeah.
And so
Badass.
because of that suit, that's why like the GI Joes kind of like hit him up, because on
Okay.
top of that, the guy is also really good at tech. So they're like, we'd like for you to join us, and they give him the GI Joe card,
I
business
mean, it
card.
could make sense. I mean, as Hasbro as a company, like fuck it, exploit the shit out of them. They've
Yeah.
been doing it for toys and cartoons
Yeah.
our entire life.
Yeah.
So why not
They-
put it on the big screen?
Yeah, because wasn't it Power Rangers? They said that they made Power Rangers, but then they made the show to like advertise. The
So
toys.
they kind of like took the show's idea, because Power Rangers, man, we could go off on that for a while. It was actually a Japanese show.
Yeah.
that's what it
That
is.
Saint Seiya or something like that, where
Oh, six.
it's all filmed already. It's all
Yeah.
exists. We just
Overpowered.
We just Americanized it and made it a bunch of token teenagers and made it cool instead of a bunch of Japanese people running around. Man,
That's cool too.
I'm trying to picture Snake Eyes going against some Decepticons.
I'm telling you, you're gonna get like a Snake Eyes Autobot soon or some
Yeah.
shit.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
So are they actually? Is there any like media where they're connected?
oh
Like,
man, there's been comic books where the
Yeah,
two have met.
they-
Before.
How do they fight?
But
I
the-
want to hear that.
it's
It's
all-
the suit. It's the mecha suit that he gets gives him the ability to be able to fight.
a fucking
it's
transformer.
It's
Yeah.
plot armor.
It's almost like Iron Man suit.
What? How?
Wait,
It's
Hey,
a
we
much
got
throwing
that.
hands
Like,
with
we're
fucking-
going
Go watch the movie.
on?
Start screaming shit.
I don't know when we should stop this conversation. We're getting too deep.
Oh my bad. Wait. Just do they throw hands like not in the movie, but like in the comics or whatever? Like
Yeah, they
they fucking
fought.
like is the GI Joe fucking throwing hands with the transformer?
I wouldn't
That'd be
doubt it.
fucking
I think
funny.
they recently did
I
this
think would
collab,
win.
so I
Yeah.
haven't even read it.
Well, I mean, I know they did it in the '90s too, because it's one of those things that they just
been around.
Hasbro keeps just redoing it every 5-10 years. It's what's popular and turn it into that medium. They've done it with Thundercats, He-Man, like
so
all of
fucking
the
funny.
GI Joe
I
Transformers.
can't fucking.
Did you guys watch The Witcher? Did anybody? Is anybody Witcher fans?
I fell off on Witcher.
I fell off hard as
I don't know.
So I was quasi questioning it because I respect that you're not watching it, but at the same time, for me, if you can give Game of Thrones 6 seasons, The Witcher is much better storytelling.
I feel like you
I don't
have
know.
to go
Much
back.
better.
It took a long
You-
time for me to give Game of Thrones a chance.
You can't say you don't know without watching them both.
Well,
I'm down
I've
to
seen all of
watch it.
season 1.
So you need to go back and rewatch them though, and like just try to binge it, because I realized what it was for season 1 is season 1 does a lot of time jumping that doesn't
Oh yes,
happen.
yeah.
And it doesn't happen like that in season 2 and 3. So season 1, there is a lot of time jumping because realistically, like where what's her name?
Talk about Yennefer.
Yennefer and like where they're like in 2 different like things. Then you get Theory, who's in a whole.
They
nother,
do a lot of time jumping.
Yeah,
in the
so
first
like you're
season.
getting
That's
like
what it
her
was, I think, because it's been a
story,
while, and it kind
story.
of just
Now
like,
that she's saying it,
But
I'm
then-
refreshing
yeah.
it. I'm like, yeah, that was
But
confusing as
towards
shit.
like
Yeah.
the middle and the end of that season, it comes together where it's like, okay, now I understand.
we're in
'cause
normal
now they're
time.
all like on the same.
I
like,
like the
path.
first season, so I really have high hopes.
so
Like, it just took so fucking long.
They introduced
for
the
them to
Wild
release.
Hunt in season 3, which is
Oh, wow.
the most like important, I think, relevant piece of Witcher lore.
I was so obsessed that I wanted to read the books. I don't fucking read.
She can't fucking read. She was going to
I
teach
don't
herself to
have it.
read. So she could watch it.
Teach myself to
Okay,
read.
so do y'all give it like a 10 out of 10?
I
love it.
I've heard it's good. I heard like
good
the new
things.
season was lit as fuck.
I think it's very well done. I am sad Henry Cavill's leaving, but I'm still.
so he is in this last
Yeah,
season.
the second half of this newest season, actually, Netflix's biggest problem is they keep giving us shit in parts. Part 1 and part 2
I
of
wonder if it's
season
like
3.
COVID stuff.
So
like they're just coming
season
out of it.
And the
part
writer's
2 of
strike.
season 3,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
fucking Attack on Titaning the shit out of me here.
Oh, God.
Comes out
Fuck
like
yeah.
late July. You say fuck yeah. I feel like that's killing Attack on Titan.
Yeah, I'm waiting till it's done.
After season 3, Henry Cavill's gone and Liam Hemsworth
Hemsworth.
takes over.
So is he?
Liam Neeson?
I wanted to say Neeson.
That'd be a cool.
He's not taking Geralt's place.
He's Geralt.
Yeah.
He's new
He
Geralt.
is. He
I
is?
wonder how. That's how I
Oh,
want to know how
So,
they're going to implement that.
I don't know,
Okay.
but I've seen a lot of people shit
He
on it.
doesn't
And they're
look
like,
that
I'm not
different.
going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. Imagine the fucking pressure that this dude is feeling
Oh,
stepping
absolutely.
into
That's
this role.
some big ass
He said
boots
he's,
to
like,
fill.
Studying
Yeah,
like
yeah.
out the ass apparently.
I bet he's going to turn it around and actually be fucking amazing.
I think it's going to be
at it.
great.
I think he's
Because
gonna
he
be
has
fine.
all these people watch. He's like, hey, fuck y'all, watch this.
yeah.
Get him the truth
Prove
out.
the haters
We're
wrong.
talking about like hot takes, but can we name a Henry Cavill led series that has been successful?
Series?
He wasn't a successful Superman.
Oh.
He wasn't a successful
Whoa,
Witcher. Now he's
hold up,
left.
Hold up.
I mean, you can say all you
I think
want,
he
but
was. I think he was a successful Superman.
Yeah, he was
Success
falsely
equals
acclaimed.
like a multitude of volumes. You can't give him
I guess,
3
what
outings
do
and 4 bad
you-
movies and
what
say
do
he
you
was
call
Well,
Calling
it's usually
successful,
director
though.
shit, though.
I
It's
liked him
usually
as
like-
Superman.
I loved him as Superman, but it still wasn't a successful series.
I've heard he even had problems here because he didn't want to film himself naked. Props
think-
to you, man.
I don't, man, if that's true.
Boundaries are important.
But he's leaving. He's left The Witcher.
He's
I
about
think,
to be
because
in
of creative
Warhammer, though,
differences.
so I would
I am
put that
excited
song
about
in that
Warhammer.
mouth,
I
Justin.
But I want to see him flesh something out entirely, start to finish.
Dude,
and
I
it's-
think he's going to kill it in Warhammer.
I hope so.
To me, I think it's not necessarily a him thing. I think because I feel like he's one of the nerd gods. You know,
Yeah,
like
he's him.
he's like he
Him on.
because like I saw an interview where he
Joe,
was like
blah blah blah.
where he
Yeah.
was like, I don't think my character would do this. Why are we doing this? And they're like, come on, just do this. He's like, I don't want to do this. My character, like, because he, like, anything that he
knows.
does, he knows about it. He's not just like jumping into like a character or whatever series from like whatever comic or game. Like,
Yeah.
he knows what the character would do. And I don't think that's I think that you're right. I think it's a
volumes.
director and I think it's like a behind the scenes thing
You
that
can't
for his
bash
series.
someone for like wanting to overcare for their character.
Yeah,
like,
to me,
Yeah.
it's not like The Rock. The Rock is someone who like is a franchise killer.
He is a franchise killer.
I think Henry
Unless it's
Cavill.
Jumanji.
Yeah, that's true. But
Then Doom. You remember he was in Doom too, and I felt like Doom could have been expansive. It's easy.
No, that was the
like,
beginning of his career, though. I don't
Yeah.
give him much
No,
fault
that's-
for Doom.
yeah, but I mean, like, but I don't think Henry Cavill is like because he's in it. That's why it failed. Kind of.
I guess I shouldn't have said it the way I
That's what I was
said it.
gonna
I
say.
just want to see a project with him in it come to completion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like him as a person and actor. And
I think
he's
my
been
guy's
great
been
in his-
burned. He's just been so
Yeah, I was
burned,
gonna say, 'cause
man.
think
Well, I mean,
Witcher
DC
is-
kind of burned him, but
killing
he
it.
burned
Yeah.
himself on Witcher. I mean, he chose to leave. Nobody forced him out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Even if it was creative differences, he still chose to leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
Props.
I mean, again, if you
Props,
stand
man.
up for your character, if that's
Yeah.
how you feel about it, great. But
That could have been the show he was filming that he was talking about, like that he didn't want to do that because
well, I know he said that there were creative. I don't know if they're going off of like video game lore or book lore because if I'm not a huge Witcher fan, but I do enjoy it. But I know that people are either really big on like what the video games have done or what the books that came out have done. And
Yeah.
I think they said that they were going with one, not the other, and he didn't like that, and he wanted to do the other. And since he didn't, he left. Black Mirror.
Black Mirror.
Black
oh my god.
Mirror. Mirror.
So who watched all of them? Like
I
you
didn't
guys-
watch the paparazzi.
I watched all of
one
those
because y'all
seasons.
said it sucked,
Did
so
you
I didn't
get-
want to watch
Watched
it.
two of them.
Okay,
watch all of
I was gonna say.
paparazzi one was
I
dumb
was
as
gonna
hell.
say.
I did
we
not
should-
like the paparazzi.
I was gonna say
Oh,
we
we
should
talked about
rate them.
Okay.
Oh, that was
Like
so.
it
we
was a
tried
tough.
doing
It was a
this.
tough rating.
So like rate episodes.
Yeah,
Like your
Okay.
like
top
best.
tier.
Yeah,
Yeah.
best to worst kind
For
of.
just this season?
Your
Yeah.
personal.
I got
So it's like
Ooh.
top five, but
personal
with
top.
My favorite was Jonah's the worst. Right after that would have been the last one with
The
devil,
demon?
the demons and the
Yeah.
killing.
That was my top.
Actually, those two could fight for my favorite
Yeah.
because those two I was more interested in than any of the
I
other ones.
loved that one.
My least favorite would have been the paparazzi.
Yeah.
Right after that would have been the one in space. Then third and fourth
was the other
would
one?
be
The-
it's either the
murder
the
one.
murder one, the true crime one,
Yeah, yeah.
La
which I
Kenny.
think is like number
Sorry.
3 for me. And
I
then
thought about it in my head.
4. What I don't even remember what the other
That's why I
one
was like, what's the last one?
True crime one is number 2 for me. Mine goes the demon one,
Yep.
top. True crime one, second and top. Then it's a tie between the space one and Jonah is awful.
Okay, Jonah's awful. I said Jonah's the
Yeah.
worst.
Those same thing. It's a tie between those two. And then my last one
Stringberry.
is the paparazzi one.
yeah.
What was that?
Which
Oh, I feel
sucks
like I'm
because
forgetting
Domino
No,
was
that's
in
it.
it, and I wanted
Oh,
to
there's only
support
5
her.
episodes.
Yeah,
I was
it's
at
five. Yeah, it's a
making
5.
up one. I loved her character.
Me
Like, not her
too,
character,
but the story
actress.
wasn't.
The paparazzi is definitely bottom
It's
for mine.
Yeah.
It went from like the last 5 to 10 minutes was like going to be like, I thought it was going to be way different. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this bitch is a werewolf.
Yeah, the story was just like not it for me.
As soon as it ended, I was like, I get why they didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
that was
The
a
story was
weird
just
twist.
like
Dang, my top is the space one, honestly. Space one, then true crime.
this face was trippy, but it was so long.
I
But
don't care.
I
It was
liked
so
it.
good.
It
Yeah,
felt like a
I
movie,
enjoyed
yeah.
And it was boring as hell.
it. The acting was really good to me because like
it was well
really
acted.
good.
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, the scene whenever he like first goes out, like they switched the suits or
It's
whatever. or-
Aaron Paul, is that his name?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Did I have that right?
when he was when the guy that family just got killed and he finally was on Earth again for the first time, like getting
Hartnett.
like he had to be him, but as I don't know.
Yeah, that's
two
true.
different people.
It was like
Yeah.
tough. Like that's like always.
That
like,
was really good because I
Yeah.
believed it. Like I
Yeah,
was like, oh,
like, you
that's
can
that
tell.
other
You
guy.
could
So, yeah,
in
you
his
could always
body.
tell who was in the body.
Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't the well acted and the story was good. I think it was just one of those like I felt like it could if it were 15 minutes
Just wasn't
shorter, it probably would have kept
interesting.
me
Yeah.
that much better.
That's the
I
cool
loved
thing
it.
about Black Mirror is that there's so many different
Yeah.
It is
stories that like you don't have to like all
Yeah.
of them, but there's gonna be some cool stuff
They're
out
all
there.
super self-contained. At least I think they are. Again, I told you guys I hadn't watched all of them. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they
Yeah,
have a
I mean,
reference.
it
to one.
isn't long.
Other than Streamberry, that Joan is the worst or whatever was the most meta shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because and Crystal pointed it out in the Lock Henry. It was
They
one of
showed
the
it
shows that
Streamberry.
could have
Oh, yeah.
been streamed.
Yeah.
Well, it was on Joan is the Worst. It was like the show she suggested they watch first. She was
Oh,
like,
wow.
we can
I
watch
didn't even
this.
think
And he
about
was
that.
like,
Whoa.
no, he was like, I don't want to watch
Oh.
any like true
No more true
crime.
crime.
And then they put on Joan is the
But
Worst.
also in Lock Henry, when she was going through Streamberry, Jonah is awful
Yeah.
was in that one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool how they kept like.
That-
Very
I didn't
meta
realize that
episode.
They were talking
Very
about
meta.
Lock Henry and
Yeah, Netflix was definitely poking fun at
Jonah.
Netflix in this entire
Yeah.
series. It
Yep.
was great.
that was cool. Yeah, I
And
loved it.
for me, it's tough to do the last two other than the paparazzi. Paparazzi's last,
Yeah.
but doing 3 and 4 for me is so tough because I liked both of the.
Me too. Mine are my
The-
three.
I like
What
the
were your
demon-
other two?
the
Is Jonas
demon
Worst
one?
and the demon one, or
So 3 and 4 will either be Jonah's the Worst or the demon one.
Jonah's awful.
Jonas awful. See, I keep saying the worst.
It sounds like it sucks.
Don't even know the name, and I'm trying
Or
to
the
say I
demon
like
one.
it.
Yeah, that's a tough call. The demon one was my favorite though.
The demon one was so much fun.
I loved that one. Did you finish it?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say the
Yeah.
demon one's gonna be my 4th, and then Joan is the
Jonah
best.
is awful.
It's
Jonas,
the best.
Jonas is the very best.
Third.
As my 3rd, yeah, just
Yeah.
because it's so tough because like they all have like really cool stories.
Yeah. It for me, it's all 4 of them except for the paparazzi one were all so good, and the paparazzi one for me was just like so far like
Yeah.
it was a miss.
It was.
for me.
I feel like that's one of those things where if it was like a 2-hour movie and you got a little bit
It
more
could be-
backstory in it,
Yeah,
it may have been
something,
something.
yeah.
Like I was happy to see all 3 of the paparazzi dudes die because I
Yeah.
was like, you
because
guys
they
are fucking
sucked.
awful.
Yeah,
I
they
think,
sucked.
but I think that's what I mean. The main because I always try to like figure out what they're trying to say outside of
right,
like what it
Some
is.
some kind
They
of
all have
message.
some
Yeah.
type of like mind fuck going on or
feel
some
like
like-
type
some
of,
kind
like,
of message.
One
Yeah,
thing with
like-
Black Mirror, it kind of jumps you in the middle of a kind of
Like
like,
a-
not a story, but like, you
In
know.
Oh, yeah.
this world,
Random
Yeah.
life.
yeah.
So I was
just
looking
kinda
for
keep dumping
answers
you.
when I watched Beyond the Sea. I was like, why are they here? Like, what year is it? When did
Oh
they?
yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted
Right.
all that. I wanted
The
to know
only thing
why
I
they
wanna
were
see is
there,
how long they
why
were gonna be
nobody
up there.
called anybody.
Literally.
They couldn't get a hold of
That
NASA
was
and be
my
like,
thing.
NASA, they murdered me. NASA, this dude's crazy.
And my family,
Yeah.
like that's
why,
the thing.
Why at the
I
end
did
we didn't get to
know.
see that dude just wreck that dude's
He's
entire
like, oh, we
life?
still have 4 years left or whatever. I'm like, bitch.
What Spider-Man are we on?
Call
yeah.
NASA.
yeah, like what's the MCU looking like in this
Yeah.
universe?
Y'all know that
they
wasn't
had to
NASA, right? That
know.
was SpaceX.
They were
That's why they
I mean,
suck.
it's always weird too to see that they rarely said any of these stories in like current day time.
Oh, yeah.
Other than the very first one, everything seemed very like 50s, 60s, and
Yeah.
70s.
I would say Lock Henry was current. It's just a different location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah.
location wise, it probably. Oh yeah, because
Yeah, because they had like
Netflix and all
Yeah,
that shit.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
award
But
shows.
the last 3 were very like old.
Yeah.
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 Weird.
I thought it was a fun season of.
It was
I
enjoyable.
really enjoyed
We
it.
watched that shit in one day. It was entertaining.
Yeah, we watched in like 2 days probably.
Probably could have done one.
Yeah. But I've been putting off schoolwork.
I get it. Like I said, this week we stayed up way later than my old body wanted to because we gotta finish this. Like we have to get close to this.
Yeah.
Didn't we watch a movie recently and all that too?
I was gonna ask. There was something that was on like Peacock or Paramount or something because you were like, "Oh, it's on here. We can watch it here." And I
many
don't
fucking
remember.
Yeah, I know, right?
God
Too
damn.
many fucking apps.
I wanted to say because we were just watching Secret Invasion before all y'all walked
Fuck,
in.
we didn't even talk about
Yeah, we
Secret
didn't get
Invasion.
there.
It's a quick closing too, because it's only
Yeah,
like
we're only two episodes in.
Yeah.
But
So
man,
far, I think it's good. It's a slow burn.
yeah,
But I think
for sure.
I expected it to be kind of slow, but I feel like it's one of those when it ramps up, you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to
Dude,
like keep
Oh,
up.
yeah.
I was waiting for like spoiler alert completely, but I was waiting for Rhodey to like get in War Machine outfit and be like, man,
think it's
fuck
coming.
all
I
this
think-
shit. But yeah, I know it's coming.
Yeah.
And man, they killed off my girl Maria Hill.
They killed her off in such an unexciting way because, like,
yeah.
I thought she was a side character until y'all explained it, and I was like, oh yeah, now it makes sense. They just popped. I was like, oh,
What do
I
you-
guess
I think,
they
I think
killed
it was shock factor.
Yeah,
for
the
it.
thing,
like,
she thought it was Nick Fury. She thought Nick Fury
Yeah.
killed her,
Yeah.
and they've been like together since.
It was you.
Yeah.
That's what she did. It was
Yeah.
you. It wasn't me. Did. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm not trying to be unempathetic. I was just like, damn, that happened just like that.
Yeah,
She
for
was in
sure,
the
for
trailer
sure.
for the Marvels.
oh yeah,
I was
she's in the
asking-
trailer
I was
for the
like,
Marvels.
Wait, is
What?
she in the trailer for
Sometimes
the
they
Marvels?
do like
Or maybe
different
she's not. Maybe I'm just
Maybe.
confused.
Damn.
I don't
She
know.
may or
I
may not
thought
be
it
because
was-
now the one part I'm thinking about definitely isn't her. So I'm confused.
Question.
Yes.
Yes.
One of y'all gonna know. Well, one of y'all three will know. Okay, so is Nick Fury clapping alien cheeks?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He didn't get there. He didn't get to the end of that episode.
Oh, you didn't watch
It's
it.
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You
No, you're
brought
good.
it
You're
up.
good. Person.
But yes.
You're good.
I'm pretty sure he's
Yes,
clapping
he
alien
is.
cheeks.
Okay.
You said what I missed wasn't important.
I'm
So-
sorry. I thought you watched.
At the end of that
It's okay.
episode,
It's okay.
Nick Fury goes home.
Yeah, he goes on.
He goes home to a wife, and
Not space.
No.
No.
It's canon.
Yeah.
Nick Fury claps aliens.
I mean, you don't see it as an alien.
Just
She's
the one.
definitely like a woman, but
You know he can
is
just
she a
have
scroll?
one.
Like it shows
She's
her.
definitely-
It shows her as a scroll.
Yeah, it shows her as a stroll when she walks
did she?
in. Yes.
At the very beginning, she's
Yeah.
like cooking,
That's
and then
something.
And also,
it
she's
flips
the
when he walks
scroll.
in.
She's the scroll
he
at
not
the
know
beginning
she's
of the
a scroll?
episode.
Yeah. So
What's her name, please?
I don't fucking know.
Scroll wife number one.
Yeah.
Does he not know she's a scroll?
No, he does.
He does.
She was in the beginning of the episode with the little
I thought I
boy.
did see her in the beginning.
That was
Okay.
her.
That's why
What was
I
the
asked
ring?
him.
Is
I
that
was
why he
like-
put the ring on?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
aren't
she's
you
like,
missing
where's
Because
something?
wearing it.
I think because it's just one of those things. I think like
just looking at Fabian's
he doesn't
mind.
want people
All
to know
kinds of
that
fucked up right now.
he has a wife.
So, do they have a kid? No, they didn't answer this
I don't
question.
So
Will the kid get
Find
I
out.
asked Justin, I said, "Do you think that the guy, like the bad guy right now,
Is his
is like
son?
running it all?" I was like, "Do you think
Gravix?
that's his fucking
Gravix.
son?"
Yo, that
I don't
would be
think no.
insane,
That's
bro.
so in the beginning they
Because
brought
I don't
in
know
a
shit
kid.
about any of those
You're
girls.
right.
They brought in
yeah.
a kid.
Fuck.
That's that kid.
They showed, yeah, but they showed this kid earlier.
He could have been like an
Nick
adopted
Fury.
son.
Like maybe they were just like taking
He
care
does
of him.
have some kind of like profound admiration for Nick Fury.
Could he
though.
be
And I get
adopted?
it's because everything that
Remember-
happened, but he held on to every feeling.
Yeah.
That was when he talked to you, right?
Yeah,
So-
the little kid that they brought in that were like he lost his whole family.
So
or
could have
whatever.
those who have adopted him then?
They could have.
Yeah, they could have.
Yeah, they could have adopted him.
There could have been
Whoa,
something
full
there.
circle,
Technically what it
baby.
That's why it's, and I know I've said this a lot, but like whenever this whole saga is done,
Yes.
we're going to appreciate all the subtle nuances in some of these shows and movies that you didn't like. And I'm going to mention Ant-Man because I feel like whenever it's done, we're going to have an appreciation for the shit they did in Ant-Man and WandaVision and this show.
There's a
And-
few things I'm glad because I heard, and I really hope it's true. I was a huge Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. Like, I love that show.
That show was so good. I stopped
Yes.
watching after they went to space, though. That confused
So
me.
apparently, I'm going to update you. At season 7, that's when it
God
ends.
dang.
And this is when Daisy becomes, Quake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She becomes like a Guardian of the Galaxy, pretty much. Not tied to the team, but
like,
she's
wow,
like
spoiler alert.
She's, yeah.
she's patrolling space, and she's taking care of shit.
might.
I heard she might be coming out. So yes, and she's the only one that's making it out of this franchise.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're done with like
They did
Coulson, all
such a
that
cool
shit.
job with that, like keeping
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in line with the MCU.
And it would be perfect.
just don't bring us that
because-
Ghost Rider back. I'm good with a new one.
Man, Robbie Reyes.
I know. I mean, just like
I kind of liked
Rob.
it.
I just want another Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
True that. But
Oh,
up
Shield
in
Marvel.
space, they got
Cage.
Sword, which is that's that whole.
You know how
needle
crazy it
thing.
is that the existence of Sword in space just says that Iron Man was right.
Iron Man's always right.
Had
doesn't
Iron
he?
had that
That's
been
not
there,
Papa.
the Skrull would have been less likely to invade Earth the way that they were able to. So
Yeah.
if you really go back to it, like Iron Man in Civil War,
Yeah.
was right.
Damn.
Dude, he
It's
don't
the suit of
miss.
armor to protect the world.
Yeah.
and that's exactly what Sword is.
And there's a few things with Sword too. I was telling you all before the
What
as
Sword?
I was watching.
Sword is
the-
like the name of the organization, like Shield.
Yeah.
It's where Nick Fury is in space. He's on like a space station known
Sword
as like with Sword.
So in WandaVision, who is it? Maria Rambeau.
Yeah.
She actually created Sword, the division. And so if you remember watching WandaVision, they're picking apart Vision in the lab.
Yeah.
And then Wanda takes them. But when it comes to Sword, I got little post-it notes here. But there's a few ties here. And one of them comes to this girl. Her name is Abigail Brand, and I think we might be getting her in the series too. This was speculated for a while. She is half X-Men.
So
Indubitably.
She's half mutant. My bad. She's half mutant. And she's half alien.
Oh shit.
So yeah,
Some more X-Men tie?
yes, and
Man, that could even,
she's
like,
an
help with
ally of the
Eternal
X-Men,
ties
but
and-
also Lockheed is
So
a spy
I heard Lockheed might
for
be a
Sword.
thing.
Yeah.
I actually didn't realize until recently that Lockheed was in New Mutants.
Yes,
I
he
didn't
was
know that.
What is
magic.
that?
He
It was,
magic.
it was like
No,
a-
not you means whatever this you guys are talking about.
Oh,
Who's
it's a
Lockheed?
badass
He's a little
dragon.
dragon. He's like a little.
little pink or purple dragon. In the New Mutants stuff, because I actually just ran across a TikTok where it showed her like with Lockheed, and I was
Yeah.
like, man, had I known that was going to be in this movie, I probably would have watched it.
In the comics, that's Kitty Pryde's companion.
Yeah.
So that would just be so badass. They just have like a little dragon flying around. You're
Yeah.
like, why the fuck they got a dragon flying around?
You know what else we didn't really talk about, considering Marvel? Spider-Man.
oh man.
Oh yeah, Into the Spider-Verse, man. That's a whole.
I feel like that's a whole episode.
That's a
yo.
whole episode.
I don't
Honestly,
have enough emotions for that one today.
that one. There's so much to go into that one.
Needless to say, man, I think 2023 really is kind of like, I think since
Fucking
2020 we've been like healing in
Yeah.
terms of like movie and media, and I think we're finally starting to get
This-
into it with.
This summer felt like blockbusters in the summer felt like pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
And-
know how the hell I forgot about Spider-Man.
Right?
you were like
crazy.
gamed up
Yeah.
for it. It was like on this computer and everything.
I'm excited for that because that means that we're like new shit's gonna keep coming out, new
Yeah.
stuff like possibly GI Joe now, more
Transform-
Spider-Man. I've heard rumors of, and I don't know how sure it is, but maybe Universal and Marvel are gonna start trying to play nice with each other, and we might get a Hulk standalone.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
that'd be
Marvel
so
just got all the
lit.
rights.
Gas.
Yeah, like so
They just got the rights to Hulk?
entirely.
I
Like,
want all the Hulk movies.
I mean, we talk
World
about
War
all
Hulk.
we talk about all the cool. If you're gonna do World War Hulk first, give me Planet Hulk.
Yeah.
Give me Planet Hulk
yeah.
leading into it because he already has like the sun and shit. Like,
Yep.
Yeah, they got to do something.
yeah, you
here.
forget about all that dumb bullshit that we've like just left behind. Like Hulk has a kid.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey
shit.
guys.
Where's
Hey, guys,
White
I'm
Vision
the
at?
Hulk's
You
son.
know,
Yeah, White Vision.
Where'd he go?
He just flew away.
Flew
West
away.
Coast Avengers.
He was like, I gotta go.
I'm out.
I guess for now that is going to stop our recap where we at, where we are at. I don't know what I'm saying.
We're here.
I think I'm
We're
having-
here.
We're here in this room.
We're in this.
It's all right though. Check us out on all of our socials. Twitter, if
Nerd
we have one of
Social Hour.
those, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere. But until next time, peace.
See ya.
Bye.